We visited SHE, which is Social Health Empowerment in East London, and they took us to a community center which does a lot of, I think, gardening and, makes food. I think an old lady helps actually support it. Yeah, and when we were there, we got there and they were really happy, to have us there to also show the work that they are actually doing, which is very important, doing like food gardening for people who really need like food, especially now when you look at the pandemic. So it's a very good initiative, and it's very interesting. It's run by an old lady who also has formed relationships with SHE and other LGBTI persons within the community.
And those times you see our children coming out, sometimes they are bouncing back and forward with them. The only thing they want to be given and say thank you and go away. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to plow. They don't want to do anything. They only want to eat,
To receive.
and we got tired.
I remember when we were introducing the LGBTQI, they were like, you, They didn't want to hear anything. And then that's why this is exactly what we're going to do. So now our community now knows about LGBTQI. Even when they say, don't use all these English names, you don't understand. They want it in Xhosa. So maybe guys are gonna help us to get a translator for our documents. Because they say they must be translated in Xhosa because they don't know all these things. This gender what. That's what they say. This gender what. And Chief Mackenzie was said, if you come to us, don't come with your textbook language. Call it in the names that we want to hear. But that is a problem because some of the words that we know are so stigmatizing. They didn't even know that there's trans people. They think it's witchcraft, that's what they call it. They think it's witchcraft. But now they understand. So now that's why we see that this is working.
At East London, we met with Social Health and Empowerment, also called SHE, and they have been doing some very good work around advocating for LGBT rights, educating people on gender identity, and providing healthcare services around HIV/AIDS. They're gearing up, I think, to provide hormone treatment to transgender people.
So gender identity is more of the performativity of your gender expression. So for instance, femininity, performing femininity in various ways.
What would that be?
I'm
Would that be
feminine.
identity or expression?
Pardon? That would be gender identity. So gender identity is I'm a transgender woman.
Yeah.
That's my gender identity.
Yeah.
And my expression of my gender identity is femininity.
Yes.
Right. So how I look now, beautiful. But that's what essentially it is.
Yeah.
We've got cases or police stations that are not taking care of the cases for LGBTI.
Yeah.
I don't know what are you doing about that and how, because I really need information about that.
When we go to meet the government people, we say the situation in East London, they say where. So when now we're documenting the stuff, we'll be able to show them that these are the 15 cases in East London. We also want to form action groups in provinces where all these stakeholders form part of this action group, and in each province we aim to have 4 quarterly meetings. With organizations that are doing already intersex and trans work, for them they were so happy about the idea and the development of the app, that eventually now they have like a system where all these things could be put in one place, and those cases are also retrievable in terms of should an organization want what is the experience in the Eastern Cape, then as Iranti will be able to provide that information.
We found that people actually had a lot of feedback for the app, and we at Iranti have our own situation, our own context, and unless we go out and engage with the people who are supposed to use this app to find out what works for them and what doesn't work for them, then the app would not have worked out. But I think we did well to implement the changes.
We traveled to PE and we documented a case on a trans woman who was who actually had an incident discrimination case against, or a hate crime case against, that happened with the taxi driver who knocked her with the taxi, or purposely did that. Yeah.
We were informed of a trans woman who was violated in Motherwell. So we thought, let's go and document her story. We also decided, no, let's go to the follow-up with the police station and hopefully to talk to the investigating officer. When the officer spoke to Posetlu, it became apparent that this was not just a case of reckless driving. Based on the altercation that they had prior to the car hitting, driving over her foot, it became clearer that this is probably a hate crime, or probably, motivated by hate in that assault. So, and then the officer decided, okay, it's better to take the new statement because the current statement was wrongly taken as a reckless driving case. So a new statement was taken, and so that was important for us because then it meant the case had an opportunity to be investigated, appropriately.
Oof, this trip was tiring, and I think we all expected it to be tiring. I think we all expected to be exhausted and to maybe not want to see each other for a while afterwards, because we were with each other day in and day out.
You know, they say if you want to test your marriage, take your partner with for a holiday. If you come back and you're still talking to each other, then that's a successful marriage.
I think we left PE at 5 a.m. and I think when I got home, it was around 9:30 in the evening. We bonded on our road trip. We had fun. We almost cried, but we didn't because the long road was like too much for us. And there was a point where we couldn't even find toilets. And the aircon was not working in the car. So we had to open windows most of the times. So it was quite an intense journey, but beautiful also.